the legacy of our founder, all things, and the standard from this legacy as it grows. 0, not the one ring to rule them all, though it has measured life in harmony, it grows. It is kinetic. From nothing becomes something. 1. 1 is something. So is a 0. It is a concept known as Sephiroth, or the numbers. That is a being. To create a world where we give potential to anything we call choice, with an option. It also gives potential from 0 to become something, which is the harmony in all directions, any way it goes. 1 and 2 do not exist outside of 1, though from 2 you get 3. 3 doesn't exist without 1 or 2. 2 doesn't exist without 1. The only thing that truly doesn't exist is 0, which gives the place for 1 to be held. The idea, that is your mind. That is the zone I call 0 point. Now, the awareness of self. That self is also 1, which is something. Not 0, but from 0, something becomes something else. There isn't a true nothing. That is a dualistic mind. Even if a true nothing truly exists, it still exists, that is something. That is a paradox of itself. 0 wants to be something, so it is kinetic only when the potential is in motion. So while the potential is growing, our kinetic energy is a value of anything you could find in the legacy as a standard today, because our standard, while it is pulled from legacy, still belongs to something. That something certainly will not be referred to as 0. That something does have a name, and today that something is a collective effort that I myself personally am involved with for my own good pleasure, so that we can harmonize this duality to see where there is nothing that gives us value, because something says, we have learned this much. Let me express this value for you. So 0 has become a placeholder for all of that information. That is your mind, represented by an idea, which is exactly what it truly is, the idea, but not the idea. Because the idea doesn't speak for itself. You're speaking of something you created, which is why I like 0. Gives you a place to start over every time I say it. With 0 information, I grow information. But to call it 0 information and its truth would be hypocritic to my oath, which is what they feared. Now, we know 0 is a placeholder. It does have value, so I'm told. To be part of that system is a beautiful thing. If you are part of that system, great. If you are not, okay. It's still okay. That's your choice. Your choice, with or without that, is not going to be pursued or robbed from the experience with that system, unless that system built itself in a way that you yourself have robbed yourself from today because you are unsettling with the words. Your old paradigm. To reconnect after you've recalibrated, to redirect that paradigm into the moment I'm giving you now with my words, because the idea is speaking, but it's not the person or the name. It's something else. And we don't have words for that. You could say it's inevitable, and I would be as close as it gets. Yet we're talking about it, so there it is. To look at that the right way, I could say 0 is good for starting over, because it gives you value, where there is not a placeholder to restart. In any direction you go will influence this place, you, the being, with evolution. So 0 is not one ring to rule them all. But they all love 0 because it came first. That's the idea. You can't grab it, so to speak. But if you did, you'd be grabbing yourself, just like I am. See? So I got me. What you gotta do is detach the emotions. You cannot, may not, should not be emotionally involved with the subject of our legacy. For today's standard, if today's standard, it will be hurt by family issues. It's not a race war, but we all know what happened to the Hatfields and McCoys. Lots of pain, and a parallel to the big picture. What happened to Romeo and Juliet? Well, eventually they got married and had a good life. Just had to die a few times getting there. So that's what life is for. And from nothing, something is. To be a true nothing, we wouldn't be talking about it. What would nothing say to nothing if it is nothing? Well, nothing. But I wouldn't have said it, right? So there you go. It's something. So a true nothing doesn't exist. There's that. And what is harmonizing is the ideas 0, 1 through 9, because 0 is a good place to show you how nothing can be used, may be given value by the progression of logic 1 through 9, and how it plays into your subconscious, subliminal recalibration of your genetic sequence. Just with these words, you are getting this. That's how it works with us. When you read, you digest. That is light working with you now. Everything is either on or off. Off means you're at rest. It's a beautiful thing. On means you're working. Still a beautiful thing. So 0 represents a placeholder. You are the XYZ variable. Pick one, or all three. It's the same thing. I did that on purpose. So 0 sums it up. That's why. It can be anything, and nothing at all. All things. But again, the true nothingness doesn't exist. That is why we love logic. So there it is. That, and if you're going to be part of the system that operates around this, you have to be a little more tactful with your words to speak logically to something that understands that also. They are doing a very good job to hold this system in place, while the quote-unquote children of the world drop from the tree like new seeds to be fruit. Some are good, some are not. Those who are not will realize it. Those who are will remain. Those who do not realize it will stay the same. They will not be a problem for us now, because you have a choice, as I said before, to be part of the system or not. If you took your own liberties with those choices, you do not blame the logic that has held this system together for as long as it has. I am talking about the governance, not the people, but our legacy. The conclusion is for the people, by the people, of the people, for that one that you are. If you're going to be part of a system, honor the system. If you're going to be half in the system, complain about it, you're not part of the system. That's dishonoring the system. So you have no right to do that to the system. But the system has been awesome enough to afford you those rights because that's the system we built. So when you use the system against itself, because you can, don't blame them for that day. If indeed civil war was on the cusp of something to begin, it would be because you simply just could not sit still with the logic today to see that you have a choice not to do that, because some of us enjoy the liberties and civil liberties we've earned with this logic. You have places in the world where you may go to earn civil liberties, starting over. Though it's nothing, it's still something, and that's a good place to start. I'll see you when you're done. For the others, thank you. For our governance, thank you for the legacy to hold this standard that we built. Evolution is not a zero. Evolution is done. And somewhere, it knows all things, which is always on. Thank you, God, for that. That's what we